My home state is Georgia. Last in services rendered right now. I know you know that we dropped below 40% on time, and we're now up to 75%, which is kind of an achievement, but nowhere close to where we need to be. My personal experience in the last year is I had 2 certified letters, one to me from my tax returns from 2 miles away, certified, that took 4 months and a congressional inquiry to make it to my house. 4 months, certified. The other one, I sent a letter to approximately 11 miles away to an address I've sent plenty of things to. I certified it because I was worried about it. Worried about it because that was a check made out to somebody else, certified. The due date came and went. I went down to the post office, asked, where's my letter? They didn't know. And then when it finally came back to me as undeliverable to this address, which they can't explain still, I got charged $6 for a letter to be certified that couldn't be delivered. And there's no explanation. When I asked to see management, I said they can explain it to me. They didn't have time for me. I came back later. I said, can I speak to them as a congressman to try to help them fix this problem? You know what the response was? We don't have time. I'm glad you took time to be with me today, because I want to address this from a personal and a non-personal issue. When you talk about the future of the post office, I used to, as a little kid, literally say the post office is the one part of the government that I trust. On-time deliveries, they don't lose stuff. In the last 4 years, your reputation has destroyed that. On your watch. Destroyed that. Businesses, almost every single business I know that wants to send a check out won't use the U.S. Postal Service anymore. I won't use the U.S. Postal Service anymore. That's on your watch. The 2 major decisions I've seen you make, which is on the distribution centers and on employee hiring, have done nothing to mitigate this in real-time ways. I don't understand why you give yourself an A grade, as you just stated, when it comes to the delivery. We have, I want to read this into the record, Mr. Chair. This is a letter from the entire Georgia delegation.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. And your response, which I appreciate the response from your staff. But when you talk about, I went down and talked to, well, I tried to talk to my local postmaster, couldn't get a hold of him. Even when I stood there and said, just tell me when I can, I'll leave my number. Have him call me back. Never called me back. That's your environment that you fostered in Georgia and other places in the country. And it's not isolated to just Georgia either, by the way. I know businesses in California that will not use the U.S. Postal Service because of theft, real-time theft. It's never been, your reputation is done. Whether you admit it or not, in the military, if I have a skipper who things are going bad for, they're a good military officer, but you know what we do when things go wrong repeatedly? We relieve them. You know what you do when a CEO repeatedly fails and the business model falls apart and nobody wants to use that business anymore and it becomes non-profitable? You fire them. You know what we do in government when organizations fail over and over and over again and become unaccountable and are not going the right direction and have actually ruined the very business model that you seem to hold as a standard? Because you're not going to expand Postal Service when you have a reputation for not delivering on time, not keeping the mail accountable on your watch. You, sir, do not get an A grade. You cannot give yourself that grade.
I just did.
You can't. You can't
did.
grade your own paper, sir. I've been to medical school.
Well, then,
I got my MBA. You can't. I'm sorry. You are graded by the United States people, and they don't use your service anymore. You bankrupt.
that is not true.
You
That is
bankrupt
not
this
true,
through
sir.
your
My
reputation
business is
only.
growing.
Through your
Our
reputation,
business is growing.
you are responsible for the fall of the Postal Service
No,
and the
this
lack of
Congress,
accountability.
This Congress is responsible for
doesn't-
all of the Postal
so it's
Service.
Congress's-
I am trying to fix
On your
the Postal
watch,
Service.
with all the AI.
Before my watch, the same stuff
With
happened.
all
first.
the AI, with all the computer systems, you're worse than if I took
You're
a
talking
horse
to yourself.
and picked up the mail and delivered it 2 miles down the road. That's you. I hope you got that on camera. This is the response that the postmaster just gave Congress when he doesn't like what he hears. Literally covered his ears and gave himself the grade of A. And with that, sir, I rest.